So, if you've been following me for a while, then you know that Jenni is my wonderful, beautiful best friend who I have coached for the last 2 years to have the most empowered birth. She'd had a previously traumatic experience where she'd been induced. She had high blood pressure, so they induced her. They didn't tell her all her options, and then it ended up in a cesarean. And after that birth, she was just absolutely gutted. And she was just like, why did this happen to me? And she's the one that actually got me out there and told me to start teaching classes. She's like, Carly, how do I take your classes? And at the time, I didn't have any. So I've been working now with Jenni for the last 2 years. She's been my admin inside of the Empowered Birth community. She's helped me run my programs. She's even helped coach our other clients through the Empowered Birth program. And then she went on and she had this amazing, beautiful vaginal birth after cesarean, unassisted inside of the hospital. This is a hospital in a community that VBAC is not often supported. It's very VBAC tolerant, not VBAC supported. And moms get discouraged from trying a VBAC, doesn't support physiological birth. Like, this is the highest cesarean rate in all of BC and all of Canada. So, like, we're like number one for really bad traumatic births, okay? That's how bad this is. And she did it. Like, she took her power back, no permission needed, and she had so much going against her. She was 41. She had high blood pressure. She had gestational diabetes. She had group B strep. And she managed to have an unassisted vaginal birth inside the hospital, completely physiological. Nobody touched her. It was like, I cannot stress enough how amazing this birth was. So I just wanted to read this to you, though, because this was Jenni's thoughts. Because beforehand, when we first started working together, she said, I never want to have another baby, but I want to know what happened to me, and I want to help you help other moms so that what happened to me doesn't happen to them. But through working together, she realized that that wasn't actually true for her. So I just wanted to say that. So she said, in the meantime, I took prenatal classes that taught me about the physiological process of labor. I wanted to understand what labor and birth should look like and how interventions interfere with that process. And in doing so, I was better able to identify what exactly had happened to me and why my birth experience had gone so wrong. Jenni is, of course, talking about my live classes that I was running back in 2021. So the thing is, then she says, I was very angry about the lack of information I had received, the misinformation, and the outright lies. Armed with what I now knew, I spent months writing a very compelling 14-page complaint letter. She really did. I submitted complaints to my local health authority and the regulatory bodies for both the doctors and the nurses. Then I asked myself a really difficult question. What did I actually want? I had originally wanted to have 2 children, and I concluded that if I chose not to have more children because of my experience, then I was letting the people who had caused my trauma to make that decision for me. These people I knew went home that day and patted themselves on the back for a job well done. These people weren't even going to remember me or my birth. In fact, they were completely oblivious to the impact that they had had on me and my life. I was the one who was going to have to live with the consequences of this. And so again, I asked myself, what did I actually want? I decided that I indeed wanted more children. But if I was going to do this again, it was going to have to be completely different. Here is where mindset really comes in. Of course, you know one of my pillars is the right mindset. I made a decision. I stepped into my power. I positioned myself as the one in control. And I made it happen. And it was easy. Don't get me wrong. It was not without its challenges. But I faced each challenge with that same mindset and moved through them, knowing that each challenge meant that my dream birth was just beyond the horizon. So that's basically what she did. She attended the Empowered Birth workshops as my admin. She worked with me for the 2 years. She got that right mindset. She got that right education. She got the right environment. She got the right facilitators, and she got the right support. I was one of the facilitators as her childbirth educator and coach, but we also had a team together with the doula, and she hired the right care provider. I made sure that her partner knew exactly what he needed to do to support her. She knew how to communicate to him. Like, we had all of those elements. And when you have all of those elements, then it doesn't matter if you're 41. It doesn't matter if you had a C-section. It doesn't matter if you had preeclampsia with your last baby. It doesn't matter if you have chronic high blood pressure. Doesn't matter if you have gestational diabetes. Doesn't matter if you're group B strep. You can still get the birth you want without having to fight, beg, or compromise. You can still have that. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.